It's fight night. The arena lights blaze like 1,000 suns. The crowd roaring louder than thunder. Every single eye is locked on the ring, where two warriors stand on the edge of history. On one side, the Mexican powerhouse, the man they call Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez, a fighter with a reputation for crushing power and relentless pressure. Across from him, representing Britain, stands the fearless Chris Billam-Smith, a man who has turned impossible challenges into unforgettable victories. But tonight, this is no ordinary fight. This is war, a battle where strength alone won't decide the outcome. Tonight, it will take courage, endurance, and the will to survive. The crowd is deafening, their chants shaking the very air. Commentators try to keep pace, but even their voices drown beneath the roar. One question is echoing in every heart, every mind. Who will rule the ring tonight? Will Zurdo impose his signature Mexican warrior style, breaking down his opponent with power shots? Or will Chris surprise the world with his unorthodox rhythm and tactical precision? The tension is unbearable as the fighters step into the ring. They stare at each other with ice-cold eyes, an unspoken promise hanging in the air. Only one of us walks out victorious. The bell rings. Round one begins. The crowd's heartbeat merges with the fighter's footsteps. Zurdo inches forward, his towering frame casting a shadow across Chris. Will he strike first, looking to set the tone with pure aggression? Or is this the calm before a storm, a trap waiting to spring? Every movement feels like a story unfolding in slow motion. Each jab, each feint, each step across the canvas could shift the balance of destiny. And so begins the clash, a fight where no one can predict the ending. The bell echoes through the arena like a war drum, and immediately the energy shifts. The audience leans forward, their breaths held as the first movements of this chess game unfold. Zurdo, the Mexican giant, steps forward with calculated confidence, his shoulders rolling, eyes fixed like a predator stalking its prey. Chris Billam-Smith circles carefully, his footwork sharp, his guard tight, his eyes scanning for the slightest opening. Both men know one wrong move in these opening seconds can set the tone for the entire fight. Zurdo tests with a long jab, his reach slicing through the air. Chris slips back, just out of range, but the crowd gasps because the power in that single jab is enough to send a message. I'm here to dominate. Chris fires back with a quick combination, sharp and disciplined, not meant to hurt, but to remind Zurdo that he's not intimidated. The sound of leather against leather echoes as gloves meet in the center, neither man giving ground. The tension is unbearable. Each exchange feels heavier than the last. When Zurdo finally lets loose a left hand, the crowd rises to its feet, expecting fireworks, but Chris weathers the storm, pivoting off the ropes, countering with a crisp right hook that snaps Zurdo's head back slightly. Gasps fill the air. Did the underdog just land the first meaningful shot? Zurdo doesn't flinch. Instead, he grins. That grin sends a shiver down spines, because it's the grin of a man who loves the fight, who thrives in chaos. Chris, unfazed, digs to the body, testing Zurdo's defenses. The rhythm is beginning to shift, and already the fight feels like it could explode at any second. Round one closes with both men locked in a dangerous dance. Zurdo pressing forward like an unstoppable force. Chris moving like water, flowing and countering, and as the bell rings again, the crowd realizes this isn't just a fight. This is a battle of wills, a storm waiting to erupt. The fight surges into the middle rounds, and the atmosphere is electric. Sweat glistens on the fighter's skin, every breath labored, every step calculated. By now, they've tasted each other's power, tested each other's resolve. And yet, neither man has backed down. The crowd senses it. Something dramatic is brewing. Zurdo, with his imposing size, begins to press harder, unleashing heavy combinations that thud against Chris's guard like hammers against steel. Each punch carries the weight of his reputation, a reminder of why he's feared in the boxing world. But Chris refuses to crumble. He absorbs, he blocks, he moves, and with every counterpunch, he proves he's not just surviving, he's thriving. The middle rounds turn into a war of attrition. Zurdo attacks the body, hoping to break Chris's stamina, while Chris counters with sharp hooks upstairs, snapping Zurdo's head back enough to draw roars from the crowd. For a moment, it feels as though the fight is slipping into Chris's hands. His confidence grows, his punches land cleaner, and Zurdo is forced to adjust. But just when it seems momentum has shifted, Zurdo lands a crushing left hand that shakes Chris to his core. The crowd leaps to its feet, sensing the finish might be near. Chris stumbles back, but with the heart of a warrior, he refuses to fall. He holds, he fights back, and somehow he survives the storm. This back and forth is no longer about skill alone. It's about grit. It's about fire. It's about two men who refuse to surrender. As the bell signals the end of another grueling round, the audience knows this fight is becoming an instant classic. Neither man will give an inch, and the ending? It's more uncertain than ever. The later rounds arrive, the so-called championship rounds, where legends are made and pretenders are broken. Both fighters are drenched in sweat, their bodies bruised, their eyes burning with determination. This is the stage where fatigue creeps in, where every punch feels like it's thrown with the last reserves of strength. Zurdo pushes forward, his combinations slower, but still thunderous, aiming to crush Chris with sheer power. His Mexican warrior spirit refuses to fade. But Chris Billam-Smith digs deep, showing why he's earned the nickname of a relentless underdog. He moves, he counters, and with each passing second, he refuses to let the giant in front of him dictate the outcome. The exchanges grow brutal. Zurdo lands a body shot that echoes through the arena, folding Chris momentarily, but Chris fires back with an uppercut that rocks Zurdo's chin. The crowd erupts, torn between shock and awe. Blood trickles, bruises swell, but neither fighter takes a step back. Every round now feels like sudden death. The crowd can barely sit, rising with every swing, holding their breath with every near miss. The commentators shout over the chaos. This could go either way. And it's true, there's no clear winner, no clear advantage, just pure heart colliding in the center of the ring. The bell rings once more, and both men stagger back to their corners, barely able to stand, yet unwilling to quit. Their trainers shout, urging them for one last push. The audience knows the final rounds will decide everything. Victory or defeat, glory or heartbreak, it all comes down to the last few minutes of war. The final round begins. The crowd is on its feet, the arena trembling under the weight of history. Both men rise from their stools like exhausted gladiators, battered, bruised, yet unbroken. This is it, the last chapter of a brutal war. Zurdo storms forward, unleashing a flurry of punches, desperate to finish strong. Chris digs deep, slipping, countering, refusing to be overwhelmed. Every second feels like an eternity. The punches no longer look like mere strikes. They look like destiny trying to carve its name into history. Chris lands a stunning right hand that rocks Zurdo. The crowd explodes. Could this be the moment? Zurdo stumbles but refuses to fall. He roars back with his own left hand, shaking Chris to his boots. Both men are hurt. Both men are running on pure heart alone. The final minute ticks away, the tension unbearable. Each man knows one clean shot could end it. The crowd holds its breath. Every scream, every heartbeat, synced with the fighters in the ring. They trade punches in the center, neither backing off, neither surrendering. The bell finally rings. It's over. The arena shakes with applause, chants, and disbelief. No one knows who won. Was it Zurdo's power or Chris's resilience? The fighters embrace, exhausted yet proud, knowing they've given everything. The announcer walks to the center with the scorecards. The world holds its breath. The decision is about to be revealed, and in this moment, before the verdict is spoken, one thing is certain. We've just witnessed a battle that will be remembered for years to come. A war where both fighters proved they are not just boxers, they are warriors.